Many students find the small angle equation confusing, but what I want to try to suggest to you is that it's actually pretty intuitive. It really comes down to the fact that this angular size, theta, is all about a ratio, and that ratio is the size of something, its diameter, divided by its distance, right? And so this ratio is really the key, which is how big something is versus how far away it is from you. So let's just take a look at this with some simple examples, right? Here's a ball in my yard. If I take this ball, which has a certain diameter, all right, let's say it's maybe 10 centimeters or something across. So my diameter is 10 centimeters, right? So the ratio here is all about how big this ball is divided by how far away it is. So if that ball is 10 centimeters and it's only 10 centimeters away from my eye, it's really big to me, right? So it'd be like 10 centimeters divided by 10 centimeters is just 1. Times 57.3, that'd be like 50 degrees big, right? It'd be huge in my field of view. The angle it's taking up, the angle will be like 57 degrees. But now notice, as that 10 centimeters gets further and further away from me, as its distance gets bigger, right, then this ratio gets smaller and smaller and smaller, because it's still 10 centimeters, the size, but now it's maybe 100 centimeters away. Or maybe it's like 1,000 centimeters away. In which case I've got the 10 divided by 1,000. This gets really, really small, and you can see that the angular size is now really, really small. Of course, if I get closer to it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, it's not just about the distance, right? The distance is one factor, but it's also the actual size that can impact that ratio. So if I grab a really big ball, right, and I put it next to my small ball, all right, here we go. Big ball next to small ball. Hopefully the wind doesn't blow it away. Then it doesn't matter how far away I am, right? They both have the same distance there. But a 10 centimeter ball versus maybe a 30 centimeter ball, you'll see they'll take a different angular size. Big ball is always going to have a larger angular size. So this ratio is really the key, and I think it's really intuitive, right? If the ball is bigger, it's going to mean the ratio is bigger, you have a bigger angular size. If the distance is bigger, it's going to make it all smaller. Now here's the really fun part. I could take two things here and give them the exact same angular size, right? I've got my 10 centimeter ball and my 30 centimeter ball, and I could make them have the exact same angular size, even though they're different physical sizes. And this is the whole issue in astronomy. If we see these two things here on the ground, you might know that I'm holding one in my hand and one's further away, because you can tell from the grass and whatever. But when these are both in the sky, how do I know which one's bigger or which one's further when they all look the same, when all these stars look exactly the same in our night sky? So, small angle equation, I'd make the case that it's fairly intuitive. Now, the calculations are stuff that you'll explore in the class, but in this lab, what I'd like to do is give you a few kind of rules of thumb for doing some basic measurements out and about. So one of the cool things about angular size is that while you don't carry rulers with you to actually measure physical things, you do carry some natural rulers on your hand. And so those natural rulers are your thumb and your hand itself. All right. So a rule of thumb, and you can calibrate this for yourself if you want to, but it's roughly true for everybody, that the angular size of a thumb, right? I'm just going to set that down. Angular size of a thumb right here, like at its widest part, would be 2 degrees. 2 degrees of angular size, right? So I could go up and I could measure the size of anything I want to, right? There's those little like blue things hanging in my window. Looks like those are exactly 2 degrees from my point of view, because I can block it with almost exactly my thumb. Or I could put a couple thumbs together and say how many degrees what's the angular size of my house, right, from the ground up? And I could use two thumbs. We get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, blah, 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 blah. All right, but that's kind of a bigger thing. So if I want for larger objects, I could use my whole hand, right? And I use this line here, right, along my knuckles. And for me, that is 7 degrees. Okay, 7 degrees. So I could measure the height of a tree, its angular size, right, by stacking knuckles all the way up. Now here's the cool thing. Now I've got those rulers with me wherever I go. I do not carry an actual ruler, like to measure the actual distance and the actual diameter. I don't carry a ruler with me. But because this is a ratio, this divided by that, it doesn't matter if I measure these in centimeters or feet, because they cancel each other out, right? So if it was centimeters, it'd be centimeters divided by centimeters. If it was feet, it'd be feet divided by feet. If it was furlongs, I don't even know what that is, but it's a unit of measure. If it was furlongs, it doesn't matter. They cancel each other out. So I don't need to actually measure it with a ruler. I could use other natural rulers like my actual feet. So let's just try this once. If I pick a tree, like there's a nice tree, all right? I'm going to stand right here, and I'm going to write these things down. I'm going to measure the angular size of that tree, okay? So my arm's out all the way. I got 7 plus 7 is 14, and then maybe like another thumb. So let's just say it's 16, okay? 16 degrees. Now I'm going to walk to that tree using my feet. All right, and this is going to take a second. So here we go. Ready? 1. I'll skip ahead in the video. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 76. So 76 steps. Now that was 76 of my feet. It wasn't necessarily 76 feet. It was literally end to end of my shoe, 76. But that doesn't matter, because now I can use our small angle equation to, with just my natural rulers, figure out how tall, the size, how tall that tree is in my feet, as if I just walked right up the top of it and figured it out. So let's do that real quick. What I'm going to need to do is rearrange the equation to solve for d. So that's going to be theta divided by 57.3 times the distance. Well, I have all this stuff, right? So this is 16 degrees divided by 57.3 times 76 of my feet. Now, I do carry a calculator with me everywhere I go, and you probably do too. 16 divided by 57.3 equals times 76 equals 21.2 feet. I'm just going to call that 21 of my feet. Now, there you go. I hope you see how this is maybe not useful in your everyday life, right? But it could be. If you were like, how tall is that building? You have the capabilities, when you understand this equation and you have your hands and feet with you, you can actually estimate how tall things are. Now, two things. One is, if you actually calibrate your feet, if you know how many centimeters your foot is, you could actually get a very accurate estimate of how tall basically anything is. Now, in astronomy, of course, this is really relevant, because what we are excellent at measuring with our telescopes is angular size. We can measure that to just insane precision. And so what that means is that all we have to do is figure out a way to figure out, like how large something is or how far away it is. If we know either one of those, this equation allows us to determine the other. So something like the moon, if we can figure out exactly how far away the moon is, distance, then we immediately know how big it is. Or if we can figure how far away a star is, or a planet, then we can immediately know how big it is. Right, so this is a very powerful equation, but I hope you see it's a very simple and intuitive idea that goes into the equation itself. One last thing I'll just mention, because you might be like, there's nothing intuitive about this. What is this 57.3 all about? This number is not just a random number that was chosen. It's actually comes about if you take 360 degrees in a circle and you divide it by 2 pi radians. So if you've ever taken trigonometry or some basic, like geometry classes, then you will see that this is where the 57.3 comes from. Okay, so cool. Hopefully you'll get a chance to try some of this on your own. All right, thanks.